Today on Fox 10 News at 4, get ready for Friday Night Lights. High school football is back. Live team coverage of tonight's matchup straight ahead. Then, with it being the weekend, strict enforcement coming in downtown Mobile. Police say you've been warned, and now they're cracking down on alcohol. What you need to know.
And speaking of the weekend, it's here and the sky is clear. Doing a little rhyming in your Friday forecast. We'll talk about the rest of the weekend coming up.
You're watching Alabama's Station of the Year, committed to you. This is Fox 10 News at 4 p.m.
Hi there, and thank you for looking in on this Friday. I'm Lenise Ligon. It is good to see you. Oh, you know what that sound means. Tonight is the first full night of high school football. Our game of the week features Spanish Fort against McGill-Tulane at the Lip. And as you can see, that's where we find our Hustle and Hal Sherrick joining us live with a preview of tonight's matchup. Hi, Hal. Good to see you.
Hey, Lenise. Yeah, this is setting up to be a super season opener here at the Lip tonight. This game has become quite the tradition for two of the top teams in the state in their respective classifications. The McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets are hosting the Spanish Fort Toros here at Lipscomb Field tonight. Now, this will set the pace for these teams. Well, whatever happens here could set the tone for the rest of the season for these two teams and what's sure to be a great season opener. Now, the Yellow Jackets are looking for their fourth straight 7A title appearance, and nothing less than another state championship will satisfy them. This will be the third straight year McGill-Tulane has squared off against Spanish Fort in week one. The Jackets have won each of the season openers. Last year they traveled to the Hill and claimed a 27-20 victory. The game returns to Lipscomb Field this year, where McGill hasn't lost a game since 2015, the same year they won their first state championship. Second year head coach Ernest Hill knows his team will have their hands full hosting the Toros.
Anytime we play somebody like Spanish Fort, you know, top five team in the state in 6A, it's going to be a tough task for us. But you know, our guys, they just tired of hitting each other. They want to hit somebody else. So you know, it's going to be a great atmosphere. You know, the stands going to be packed, and I know Coach Blackman, he's going to have those guys prepared. And you know, we got a tough task in front of us.
Starters, 9 of them are on defense, including 3 DBs and 3 linebackers. Spanish Fort has been knocked out of the state playoffs in the quarterfinals the last couple of years, but are poised to climb back to the top of the 6A classification. The Toros have racked up an impressive 4 state titles since 2010, and one thing they don't lack is confidence. Head coach Ben Blackman says he's pleased with the leadership he's seen on his team through fall camp and is ready to see how that translates to game time.
We just want to come out and compete and find out who we are real early in the season, and that's why we play games like this. We know Coach Hill and them do a great job over there at McGill-Tulane, and you know, we want to compete at the highest level in Spanish Fort, you know, and for us, it's coming out every Friday and giving the best effort we can and competing against the best, the very best, and so you know, that's what this game's about.
The Alabama High School Athletic Association has McGill-Tulane and Spanish Fort ranked 5th and 6th respectively in state rankings. Now this game will certainly set the tone for the rest of the season for both these teams, and it's sure to be quite the crowd coming out to check this out, as it has been every year. I'll have much more on this a little bit later on Fox 10 News at 5 o'clock. You'll get to hear from some of the players, and of course, come on out and see this game if you don't have plans tonight. It's looking great weather-wise, going to be a great crowd, and always a great way to start the football season. Of course, if you can't come out and see it, I'll have all the highlights for you tonight on First and 10 right after the news. Reporting live at the Lip, I'm Hustlin' Hal.
And 2 other games on tap for week 1. The Battle of Old Shell pits UMS Wright against St. Paul's. Also the Battle of Pritchard. Blount heading to Pritchard Stadium to take on Viger. Other games of note, Davidson Warriors crossing the state line to take on Meridian, and Robertsdale going to Sims to face MGM. We're covering 11 high school football games tonight. You can catch all the highlights and scores for your favorite team on First and 10. Kickoff is at 10 o'clock tonight, so be sure to join Bree and Hal.
You don't see them every day, but here in the last year or so, I mean, they're like our neighborhood-friendly pets.
Okay, so question, what would you do if you saw that little guy right there looking into your living room window? It happened to a woman in Saraland, a bear making its way up to her window and having a little peek inside. Wildlife experts say never feed bears or other wild animals. They might come around because they have found easily accessible food sources like bird feeders, garbage cans, or barbecue grills. Asha Staples caught up with the woman who took that picture. Almost looks like he's saying, hey. You're going to hear her reaction tonight on your Most Local News at 5. All right, want to get you updated on the weather. Taking a live look from our Harbor Communications Sky Cam in Orange Beach. Chasity Bird is tracking the conditions across Mobile and Baldwin counties, and it is not an easy day for us here at the station because today is Chastity's last day at Fox 10 News. We've got some special tributes throughout the newscast. I'm sure you saw Studio 10 this morning, some nice tributes there. For now, though, she's going to join us in the studio for her final look at the forecast and final look at the forecast.
Yeah, we'll stick to that.
Yes, we will.
There's been enough crying on TV today.
Well, yes.
All by me. Here's a look at what we're seeing with temperatures out there. 91 in Mobile, 86 in Gulf Shores. It's feeling good. We're still seeing that lower humidity, but the winds are shifting, and you know what that means. That moisture is going to come back in our direction, and we're going to see that humidity going up and up and up. Here's a look at winds out there across the area. And again, you can see we're seeing some out of the north, some out of the south, some not quite. They don't know what to do. So we're going to see those winds shifting back out of the south as we go into the weekend. Dew point's not that bad right now, though. Of course, that's the measure of the moisture in the atmosphere in the 60s. Look at this, low 60s in Nashville, 64 in Birmingham, only a dew point of 66 in Mobile. Now, usually in the dead heat of the summer when it's really sticky out there, dew points are in the mid-70s. So getting a little break out there for our Friday evening. Here's a look at radar and clouds. We have a clear scan out there. So if you're headed out to some of those high school football games, headed out to get some Friday night dinner, you're going to be just fine. In fact, you might want to because the temperatures are just so nice. Here's a look at the forecast for tonight. Temperatures going to be in the low 70s, calm wind, humidity on the rise, though. We'll talk about the weekend forecast, what you can expect. Some small rain chances are coming back, but it won't be anything to ruin your weekend, so we'll take a look at that coming up.
The Fox 10 News Traffic Tracker Accident Report is sponsored by Gulf South Honda Dealers.
Traffic not that bad for a Friday afternoon either. Taking a look with our Aldot camera of the Bayway, you can see traffic moving smoothly, although it is starting to pick up out there. So keep that in mind. We'll likely see some slowdowns as we get a little bit closer to 5. Here's a look at an accident that we are tracking. Really busy road intersection, I should say, Cottage Hill Road at Hillcrest Road. So we're definitely seeing some slowdowns on Cottage Hill Road. Nothing stop and go, but slower traffic, especially it looks like the westbound lanes of Cottage Hill Road. So keep that in mind. We'll continue to watch that as we go through this hour. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in the eastbound lane of the Bayway too. We'll watch that to see if any accident is reported. Right now it's not. And then just a couple of slowdowns along 98, pretty typical for this time of day.
Still ahead, according to doctors, more and more people are requesting surgery so they can look like their selfie pics. Do you suffer from Snapchat dysmorphia? Plastic surgeons are alarmed by the number of people affected. Plus, an event to benefit Saraland police officer Jackie Tucker this weekend. She was injured in the line of duty 2 years ago. First, I want to thank you for staying with me and watching Fox 10 News at 4. Happy Friday. The news continues.
You're watching Alabama's Station of the Year, committed to you. Fox 10 News.
Oh, selfies. We're all guilty of taking them, but is technology messing with your perception of what you really look like? In today's Health Minute, Kim Hutcherson exploring some possible harmful effects of all those filters.
Seems like everyone from your sister to your grandmother is trying to up their selfie game. Lots of times, this means getting a little help from a filter. From Instagram to Snapchat, even apps made just to beautify you, there's no shortage of Photoshop features at your fingertips. But constantly changing your photos to show a slightly better version of yourself can have a psychological impact. It's being called Snapchat dysmorphia. And Some say it can lead to body dysmorphic disorder, which is an excessive preoccupation with perceived flaws in our appearance. A recent article in the JAMA Facial Plastic Surgery Journal says more and more doctors report patients are bringing altered photos into their offices and looking for permanent surgical options to improve their selfies. Of course, people with true cases of body dysmorphia will likely never be satisfied with their outward appearance. For those patients, seeking out psychological help is a better option than going under the knife. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Fox 10 News committed to keeping you informed of job opportunities in Baldwin County. Dozens of positions are being filled. It's at a new tourism complex that's getting ready to open soon. We'll have the details for you after the break.
Eastern Shore Toyota is proud to sponsor today's Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You're watching Alabama's Station of the Year, committed to you. Fox 10 News.
We want to wish Chasity Bird Riddick all the best on her new endeavor as she goes to the Baldwin County Board of Education. She's been a great personality on Channel 10, and we're so proud of her. She's a Baldwin County High School Tiger, and she's done a great job at Channel 10, and we know she's going to do a wonderful job for all the citizens in Baldwin County at the Baldwin County Board of Education.
Hey, Chasity, just when the fun's getting started, you're bailing out on me? You know, so who am I going to turn to when I have a great story and want to have breaking news? And I really wish you good luck with the school system. When they told me you were retiring, I didn't know where you were going, so I was assuming you were just riding off into the sunset on a four-wheeler somewhere. But glad to know you can work for the school system. Good luck to you, and if we can ever do anything down here on the 10th floor, give us a shout. Take care. God bless you.
Chasity, for years, your smile has lived the Gulf Coast. It's going to be so weird tuning in to Fox 10 and not seeing your smile. I'm sure Joe is going to miss you just as much as everyone else. Just coming from high school to seeing you just be an anchor into this society, into this community, it's going to be a lot not seeing you around. But your new position, I hear, is just as exciting, just as entertaining. I wish you nothing but the best, and I'm sure people here at Fox 10 and all over the Gulf Coast feel the same way. God bless. May all your endeavors and your journey is very successful, and I love you.
Aw, so sweet.
Yeah.
And very well said from all of those guys.
Especially the part about me riding a four-wheeler.
And there's going to be some of that too. There will be some of that also, but you're still going to be working, and
yeah,
I can't do it. So the weather.
Yeah.
It's sunny.
It is sunny. It's nice. It's Friday.
It is.
Here's a look at temperatures. Oh, we've had a hard time on this Friday. Let's go ahead and take a look at those temperatures around the 90-degree mark all across our area. We're seeing our wind shifting. So we've seen a nice north wind for a couple of days, but that wind is now shifting. That's going to build in the humidity as we go into the weekend. So we've had a little bit of a break. We're going to get the humidity back at least for a little bit, but we're going to start to get some of that fall air coming in as we go into the next month or so. Looking at your heat index, not feeling too bad. Most of the temperatures are right around the 90-degree mark. Most of us are feeling a couple of degrees warmer than that. Milton, though, feeling like 96, feeling the heat there in Evergreen with a heat index of 97. Here's a look at radar where you can see we have a clear scan, hardly any clouds to track out there. So good news if you have Friday evening plans, headed out to some of those high school football games or just want to get that weekend started off early. You can see rain is hard to come by all across the southeast until you get on into the Panhandle and the peninsula of Florida. We're going to see that moisture returning. We're going to have a little bit more instability to work with, so we are going to put some rain chances in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. Not going to be a complete washout, just some rain chances returning, the typical chances we see this time of year. Looking at your futurecast and putting this in motion, Starting Saturday morning at 6 a.m., you can see that coastal activity, and then getting towards 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a few hit or miss showers across the area. You can see nothing really heavy as far as thunderstorms go or heavy downpours, but we will have some scattered showers as we go into the early evening hours. Again, very typical of our summertime pattern here on the Gulf Coast. Taking a look at the tropics, wanted to give you an update on what we're seeing with Lane. A lot less organized than what we've seen the last couple of days, but inching closer and closer to Honolulu. Here's a look at the statistics on Lane. It is down to a Category 2 storm. It was a 4 yesterday with winds of 105 miles per hour moving to the north. So again, our friends there in the islands definitely dealing with some rough weather this weekend. We've all been there, so definitely in our thoughts as they get ready for this hurricane. The good news is it has been downgraded, but still a Category 2 at this point. Looking at the tropics, the Gulf is quiet, the Caribbean is quiet, even the Atlantic quiet. We were watching an area, Hurricane Center was watching an area coming off the African coast, but right now there has been no area of interest marked. So that's good news as we go into the weekend, and it should stay that way for a couple of days. Looking at your outlook, 30% chance of rain on your Saturday, jumping up just slightly as we go into Sunday and Monday at 40%. Again, not a complete washout, nothing like we saw last weekend. So go ahead and make those weekend plans.
All right, looking for a job? A new tourism complex in Baldwin County is holding a career fair this weekend. Our Steve Alexander tells us who's hiring and what they're looking for.
Some new development is coming to the Gulf Shores area. We have been looking at this and waiting for this for a long time, and now the lodge at Gulf State Park is about to open. Walk with me for a moment and I'll show you how things are going. The tentative, or at least what they're hoping for, is a November 1st opening date. A lot of the work is finished here. As you walk with us, you'll see some of it. But an important development happening today, a career fair is going on. They're hoping to fill about 200 positions. The company that is hiring for the lodge here at Gulf State Park. It is being held at the Gulf Shores Activity Center in the afternoon today from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., but also tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's going to be held at the Gulf Shores Activity Center. 260 Clubhouse Drive in Gulf Shores. If you're interested, can't make it down this afternoon, you can make it down tomorrow. And again, a number of positions, culinary, housekeeping, and their opening date they're hoping for is November 1st. So you might want to keep an eye out if you're interested in joining this facility on the ground floor. We'll have more coming up at 5 p.m. including some details and talking to people who are interested in working there. Reporting from Gulf Shores, Steve Alexander, Fox 10 News.
A reminder, if you go downtown Mobile at night, Mobile police are going to be strictly enforcing that open container law in the entertainment district starting tonight. Alcoholic drinks are allowed outside of bars and restaurants, but there are some rules. For one, your cup has to have the bar or the restaurant's logo or the Loda logo on it. MPD says no open containers are allowed on the streets or sidewalks after midnight. Bar owners downtown are on board with this. They say it's a benefit for them and their customers, and so they plan to enforce this law as well. Big news from the Magnolia State. Mississippi senators passing a bill to create a state lottery. Money made from the lottery would be spent on state highways for at least 10 years. The Senate voted 30 to 20 yesterday for that bill, and the measure now moves to the House for more debate. Leaders project the lottery will provide $40 million the first year and $80 million in later years. If approved, Alabama would be surrounded by state lotteries. All right, a fun event for you this weekend in downtown Mobile. The 21st annual Dolphin Street Beer Festival is going on. Ticket information is next in your entertainment news. Crazy Rich Asians doing better than expected for its debut weekend. So how is it gonna match up against this weekend's new flicks? David Daniel with a look at what's now showing.
Two of the most decorated offices in this department. What do you see?
Looks like a robbery gone wrong to me.
This wasn't a robbery, this was a hit.
Melissa McCarthy is on the trail of a serial puppet killer in The Happy Time Murders. The R-rated comedy is directed by Brian Henson, son of the late Muppets creator Jim Henson. Analysts predict a debut weekend of $13 to $15 million, probably not quite enough to top Crazy Rich Asians.
I want to show you something. Hello.
You can talk to it?
Yeah. Stay. You're a good boy.
The title of the family adventure, Axel, refers to a robotic dog meant for the military who escapes and bonds with a young motocross rider. Box office watchers don't expect a long ride for this one. They're predicting a $3 to $5 million debut. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's an event a lot of people look forward to every year. The Dolphin Street Beer Festival is coming up tomorrow in downtown Mobile. Tickets are going fast, so you might want to get them now. For $30, you can get a wristband, commemorative tasting mug, tasting or entry to all 30 venues, and tasting of more than 80 unique brews. Stop by the participating venues to pick up your ticket. You could also purchase it online. The 21st annual festival is from 6 until 9.
Hey there everyone, meteorologist Adam Olivier live at the Lip tonight. We got our first game going on between McGill and Spanish Fort, and it's going to be a good one no matter what, but the weather's looking good too. Let's take a look at that evening planner there. If you're headed out to the game, starts at 7 o'clock, and we're looking at mostly clear skies, maybe 1 or 2 clouds. The clouds have helped out within the past few minutes. The sun just came out not too long ago, and now it's back to being hot. But those temperatures, they're going to fall off to the upper 70s by the time the game ends. But no rain is expected later on tonight. Chastity's going to have a full look at your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, I remember when this little girl that was going to South Alabama came and auditioned to be a weather person here at Fox 10. Well, that little girl has grown up. She has a family of her own, and she is ready to stop being a weather person. Well, we've enjoyed having you with us, Chasity, and we'll see you in the future. Hope you have a great life.
You're watching Alabama's Station of the Year, committed to you. Fox 10 News.
A man accused of killing a woman and a baby in a hit and run in Pensacola back on the Gulf Coast to face charges. 26-year-old Marquise Wallace here arrested in Philadelphia in July, booked into the Escambia County Jail just last night. Investigators say Wallace was behind the wheel of a vehicle in June when he allegedly ran down 2 women and a baby as they were trying to cross Cervantes Street. An 8-month-old and a 28-year-old were killed. Investigators say Wallace was going more than 100 miles per hour when that crime happened. He's been charged with negligent homicide and vehicular manslaughter. He is being held without bond. Now to a crime alert from Mobile County. Several women have reached out to Fox News about a suspicious vehicle that followed them or showed up at their house. And get this, they all describe the same vehicle. This all started when a woman reported seeing 2 guys following her down every aisle at a grocery store on Moffett Road Sunday afternoon. And then she says she saw them in a van in the parking lot. On her Facebook post, along with 2 other Facebook posts that were sent to Fox 10 News, they described the van in a similar way. A blue Astro van with all the windows painted black with the exception for the front windshield. One woman in a house on McCrary Road says that 2 men in a van pulled up in her driveway, knocked on the door, possibly tried to get in her vehicle. Another woman in Mobile County says she was followed by a van that parked across the street where she had a night shift. She says the van followed her to a gas station and then down Dolphin Street and on to Theodore.
Some, video that we're trying to acquire to possibly identify the, operator of the vehicle. And again, our units have been made aware to be on the lookout for the vehicle, as well as Mobile PD and surrounding agencies, and because there's a pretty good description of it.
Captain Birch says if you see a suspicious vehicle, call 911 if they're following you. Turn into somewhere safe, blow your horn, maybe flash your lights to get someone's attention. He says you should also file a police report because that helps investigators track down the person responsible. Again, 3 posts on Facebook describing a vehicle as a van, either light or dark blue in color. One woman said that it was an Astro van with windows spray painted black and faded. Another indicated it had a dealership license plate. We'll be sure to let you know if we find anything else out about this. Now, new developments in a small plane crash in Foley. 2 people were killed. The NTSB releasing a preliminary report on that incident. Investigators say the aircraft was trying to pick up a banner. According to the report, a pre-flight safety check was conducted. Everything appeared to be normal. Takeoff and the banner pickup also reportedly normal. But when the plane started to ascend with the banner, a ground crew member noticed the banner rope was becoming slack. That's when the plane started to spin and eventually crashed. The accident is under investigation. The community continues to rally behind the family and fight of Aubrey Nicholas. Just days after her funeral, a local school is planning another way to honor her. Tonight, Faith Academy will hand out lemons at the school's first football game. After the national anthem, students and fans will all take that lemon challenge to help raise awareness about DIPG. That's the brain cancer that Aubrey had. Faith Academy will also take donations for The Cure Starts Now. You have a chance to help Sarah Land, police officer who was injured in the line of duty. We're talking about a benefit this weekend for Officer Jackie Tucker. As we've reported, Officer Tucker was shot in the head responding to a domestic violence call back in 2016. She spent more than a year in rehabilitation and still has a long road to recovery. You can help by taking part in Bikers for Tucker. That's the event going on tomorrow. $10 for bikers to participate. They're going to meet at the Saraland Police Department in the morning at 10:30 and then head on over to Waves Bar and Grill on Dolphin Island for a benefit. That will be from 12 until 3 in the afternoon. And it's not just for bikers. They say everyone is invited. You'll have live music out there, food, raffles, and door prizes. The proceeds collected will go towards Officer Tucker's recovery. If you are driving around Mobile tomorrow, you might see firefighters out and about. Mobile Fire Rescue going to be collecting donations during the annual Field Boot Drive. All the proceeds raised will benefit the Muscular Dystrophy Association. If you're able to help, they will be at Walmart and Winn-Dixie locations across Mobile. Firefighters will collect donations from 11 until 5. In addition to this weekend, they'll also be out next Friday, August 31st, and next Saturday, September 1st. So we have a Feel Good Friday story for you now. USA Children's and Women's Hospital is celebrating one of its tiniest grads, and the video is super precious. Check it out. Baby boy, born at 22 weeks in the hospital's neonatal intensive care unit. He's going home, graduating from the NICU. There he is, cap and gown. What a ceremony this morning, and a big moment for him and his family. Love seeing these kind of stories and sharing them for you. It was also shared on social media. In Baldwin County this weekend, OA is focusing on safety. Tomorrow, the amusement park will host Community Safety Day. That's from 4 until 8. Dozens of first responders and public safety officers will be out there with free and interactive live demonstrations. Some first responders will have a jumbo tricycle race. How about that? We've got more information on the event on fox10tv.com. One more reminder to bring your little ones in tomorrow is for our casting call for the bus stop forecast. Always love this time when your students can come in grades kindergarten through 5th. We want them dressed for any season, including rain. Just don't have them wear green. The bus stop forecast will air throughout the year on Fox 10 Morning News. This year's casting call will be tomorrow morning from 9 until noon. That'll be at the Fox 10 Studios on Satchel Paige Drive in Mobile. Still ahead, more tributes to my friend and colleague Chasity Bird. It's her last day on Fox 10 News. We're going to get through it as we take a look back at the impact she's had on this community and to our station. We'll be right back. Leading technology companies don't want their platforms to play a role in election manipulation this November. Today, Facebook, Twitter, Google, and Microsoft employees are meeting to discuss ways to protect users and prevent misinformation from spreading. The meeting is at Twitter's downtown San Francisco headquarters. Facebook and Twitter specifically have been under a lot of pressure from lawmakers and the public after fake accounts tied to Russia targeted voters during the 2016 presidential election. Execs from both companies will testify next month before the Senate Intelligence Committee. Sony's super smart and super cute four-legged robotic companion is coming back to the U.S. Everyone is excited about this, at least on my Twitter feed. The company announcing the robot dog is going to be available for sale to American consumers starting in September. Now, it debuted in Japan back in the 90s, equipped with facial recognition, technology, and artificial intelligence. This time, they say it can develop a personality. The robotic dog will be available in the U.S. for a limited time. If you want to get one, it's going to be about $3,000. There you go. A hotel made famous by a horror masterpiece has a monstrous unexpected guest and residents in the Alps trying to save a glacier with blankets. Let's take a look at this. Plus, Chasity is back. The final look at the forecast. Happy Friday, and thank you for staying with Fox News at 4.
So when I first came to Fox 10, Chasity was already here. She was the hard news reporter from Bay Minette who gave the competition a run for their money when it came to breaking stories. Fierce, tough, strong. But there's also a softer side to Chasity. Being in this industry is not easy. You really need a team in order to get your job done. You gotta know that there's someone here who has your back. And that's what Chasity has been for me. She's been like a sister. I mean, we're in this makeup room, and if the walls in here could talk, some of the stories that we discuss in this room they get me through the tough moments. Chasity, I know that you're not gonna be here, but your impact and your presence will always be felt on Fox 10, just like I know it's going to be felt in the community that you serve. We are so fortunate to have you, and I am so excited for you to start this new journey. I'm gonna miss you, you know that, but I'm also excited for just all the good that you're gonna do in this next chapter. Bye, friend.
As we've been saying, today is Chastity's last day. We're also saying goodbye to investigative reporter Katie Weiss, our chief photographer Franz Barraza, and photojournalist Ron Gaines, all in the same day. The station had to get together for everyone this afternoon to have some cake, share stories, and take pictures. All of these guys played a big role in the success of the Fox 10 News brand, and we wish them the best in this next chapter of their careers. The hotel that inspired one of the most famous horror stories of all time with a monstrous uninvited guest in the middle of the night. What? Jeremy Roth has that in today's Take a Look at This.
A famous hotel had a strange visitor in the middle of the night. A bear wandered into the lobby of the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. The close encounter was caught on camera by a surprisingly calm employee. No one was injured, and the bear eventually wandered out. Bizarre headlines are nothing new for this historic hotel. It was the inspiration for Stephen King's bestseller, The Shining.
Here's Johnny!
King reportedly wrote the horror classic after a one-night stay in room 217. Yes, the same as the one in the book. As for the hotel's latest encounter, it's been viewed on Facebook over 336,000 times. A family that owns a hotel in the Swiss Alps uses a very unique method to slow the melting of a nearby glacier. They cover it in enormous blankets. It's a tactic that's been used by the family on the Rhone Glacier for over 100 years. The thick white blankets are used to deflect the sun and slow down the melting. Every spring, the family hires more than a dozen workers to help maintain the ice with the blankets. Thousands of years ago, the Rhone Glacier was the largest in Europe, but now it's shrunk to only the 5th largest in Switzerland. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
446 is your time. Taking a look at current conditions out there as we get the weekend started. 91 in Mobile, 86 in Gulf Shores. Winds are shifting. You know what that means. Humidity is coming back after a nice little break over the last couple of days. Feeling like 94 right now in Mobile, feeling like 91 in Gulf Shores. So the heat index just a couple of degrees above the actual temperature. Now on into the weekend, once we see that humidity return, we'll start to see that heat index go up as well. Here's a look at winds across the area. You can see most winds are are out of the south. Here's a look at what it feels like in other locations. We do have a heat index of 97 in Evergreen, our hot spot there going into this afternoon. Now taking a look at radar and cloud cover, we have a clear scan, a few clouds out there. That's just about it. Here's a look at the bigger picture where you can see the closest rain to us is going to be into the Panhandle and the peninsula of Florida. We're going to see that moisture returning. We're also going to see instability returning, and so we are putting rain chances back into the forecast for Saturday and Sunday, but just our typical rain chances for this time of year. Looking at the futurecast, so we started this at 7.